I served roughly 10 years in the United States Navy and got the fuck on down. And while that's a jump that a lot of people in my position would not be willing to make, for those that are willing to make that jump, this video is gonna be about the top 4 things that I recommend that you do if you're on your way out of the military. For my longtime supporters that's been here for a while and been wondering where I've been at for the past year, I'm sorry, and I'll explain it at the end of the video, but let's get started. What's poppin' YouTube? 911 the baby Go. Welcome to the Go Forum. I got something for you. The top 4 things I recommend if you about to get your ass out of the military. Now, the first thing that I recommend, and honestly, this could be number 1. Keep track of all of your medical paperwork. And not only keep track of your medical paperwork, take your ass to medical. Look, the military culture has a way of discouraging service members from taking care of their medical needs. Simple shit like if you get sick and you want to go to medical, you know, you have people talking shit or implying that you're not really sick or that you could tough it out. Every time you actually listen to them and you don't go to medical, you fucking yourself in the ass. Because 1, it's your health, take care of it. They can't fucking stop you. 2, there could be something seriously wrong with you or something that gets worse over time, and you actually going to medical and keeping track of your medical paperwork can just show in the future if you're ever trying to, I don't know, apply for disability. It could show in the future that yes, this was a problem that occurred in the military and got worse over time. In other words, it can be evidence that you desperately may need in the future. But if you don't take your ass to medical in the first place, motherfucker, you ain't got no evidence. So if they try to make you feel like a bitch for going to medical about your medical needs, you're gonna be a bitch today. Number 2, throughout your time in the military, save at least $10,000. Last I checked, the average price for rent in America is around $1,700. You can just round that up to $2,000 to be safe, which means generally speaking, if you save up at least $10,000 by the time that you get out, at a bare minimum, you give yourself about a 5, possibly 6-month cushion, depending on where you're living, to not be homeless or back at your mama's house. A lot of people lose a lot of sleep at night about getting out of the military because they don't know exactly what they're gonna do, and they don't feel comfortable because they don't have any money saved. They were too busy blowing that shit in the red light district on deployment. Fuck that and fuck them hoes. Save your money. You're gonna want and possibly need that cushion. It'll help you sleep better at night, and it'll help you make a sound decision on whether or not you actually wanna get in or get out. You will be surprised at how many people choose to stay in, not only because they don't have a plan, but they're also broke and don't have a plan. You gotta pick a struggle. If you got some money saved and you don't have a plan, well, all you gotta do is think of a plan. But if you don't have a plan and you ain't got no money saved, now you gotta figure out a way to get some money. Oh, and a plan. 1 struggle, that's all you need. And when it's time to get out, I prefer you to have the I don't have a plan struggle. Because quite honestly, coming up with a plan ain't that fucking hard. Figure out how much money you wanna make, go on google.com, figure out what jobs make that type of money, how long you need to go to school, trade school, whatever the case may be. Use your post 9/11 benefits that you're gonna get after doing your 4 or 5 years in the military to help pay for that. Oh, and it will give you money for rent based off of the zip code that your school is in if you're going full time. Bada bing, bada bam, you got a plan. Hopefully you got some money. Number 3, do not go straight into working after the military. To some degree, I kind of made that mistake myself. A few videos back, about a year ago, I informed people what I was doing after I got out of the military. And for those that don't know, I am a full-time video editor for retired NBA player Gilbert Arenas. If you want to know more about that, I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But essentially, I was already doing some work with him while I was in the military. And after some successful videos and exponential growth to his second channel, No Chill Gil, which you definitely should subscribe to because he has some amazing plans going towards that channel. And I'm going to be a part of them. Or at least as far as the editing and shit goes. But subscribe to his channel. So yeah, for me, it was an honor meeting him. It was a great opportunity working for him. So I went straight into the quote unquote workforce, straight out of the military. And the problem with that is I didn't really have time, or give myself time rather, to process everything that I had just went through in those 10 years. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I went through a lot of shit, which I do like to talk about in my C story videos. I hope you've been watching them. And when you're always on the go, 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 you never really have time to actually sit and process what it is that you're going through. So generally speaking, when you get out of the military, I would actually recommend, if you can, for people to take themselves on a little bit of a vacation. Sit your ass down on an island somewhere and just soak it in. What you just went through. What were the positives? What were the negatives? What did you learn from it? Where do you want to go next? How do you feel right now in the moment? Personally, I would recommend to give yourself at least a month to just sit back and process everything. Because while I don't miss the military at all, I do have to admit that getting out of the military, if I'm gonna be honest with you, Like, you know how motherfuckers be in prison so long that when they do get free, they just have a difficult time adjusting to the free world? Now, a lot of them do stupid shit so they can end back in prison. I ain't doing shit to end back in the military. The moment you're a free man, instead of going right back into working for somebody, give yourself a moment to breathe and just take it all in. Trust me, if you get out, you'll thank me for this. Number 4, get rid of, preferably, all of your debt, or at least get it to a very, very, very manageable position by the time that you're out. You remember earlier when I said not having a plan and not having money is the reason that a lot of people decide to stay in? Their fear of getting out and failing. You know one more thing you can add to that list? Owing motherfuckers money. Owing motherfuckers money, not having money, and not having a plan is almost a guaranteed way that your black ass, white ass, Chinese ass, Arabian ass, Middle Eastern ass, whatever the color of your ass, is gonna stay in the military. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna stay in servitude. And by the way, look up the definition of servitude. After all, it's difficult to be a truly free person when you have these obligations. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying debt within itself is a bad thing. Many rich people in this world have some forms of debt. What I'm saying is meaningless debt that is not an asset, nor is it contributing to any type of gain, is stupid and a waste of time. You know, if you were starting a business and you were in debt for a loan towards that business and the goal is to make more money, good debt. As far as I'm concerned, not financial advice. Debt because you wanted a new Dodge Charger. Dumb debt. In my opinion, if you're gonna have debt, it's actually better to have debt that's planning on making you more money rather than the one that's just taking your money. And for my hardcore fans, let me update you on everything that's been going on with me. 9/11, the baby goat. Like I said earlier, I am a full-time video editor for Gilbert Arenas. And on top of that, I am a full-time student in college as well. And on top of that, I have content creation that I have to manage as well. And on top of that, I gotta have a life, shit. My point is there was only so much time in the day. And on top of the fact that, like I said, I never gave myself time to process actually being out of the military. By the time that I would be done with editing work and school, I'd be done. By the time I was done with school and editing work, I had nothing else in the tank. Now, I don't want to make no promises, right? For all you know, I can make this video and be gone a whole nother year. I doubt that's gonna be the case because I literally just made a second channel that has nothing to do with the military, but my point is it could happen. And one lesson I learned is to just let things play out rather than give the announcement, because you never know what might happen in the meantime, in between time. And the last thing I want to happen is for my word to mean less as time goes on, because I can't keep promises that I made prematurely. With that being said, for the most part, life is great. Working with Gil is great. You know, he's doing big things and it motivates me to do big things. And I like a lot of the positive feedback I oftentimes see in his videos for the ones that I specifically edit. Call me self-centered, I don't know. But the point is, it just motivates me to go harder on the next video and to go harder on my own videos. For those of you guys that stuck around, I do appreciate you very, very much. 9/11 the baby goat, thank you guys so much for joining the Goat Farm. Be sure to drop down in the comment section below. Let me know what you would like to hear from me next, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.